WADR Leane West Africa Democracy Labai
West Africa Democracy Radio.
We are West Africa Democracy Radio.
94.9 FM.
Dakar, Senegal. It's you speaking.
News, talk, music. Get it all
24 hours
on West Africa Democracy Radio. 94.9 FM Dakar.
WADR, promoting dialogue.
It's 6 p.m. in Dakar and Monrovia. Good evening and thank you for staying tuned to West Africa Democracy Radio, broadcasting on 94.9 FM and worldwide at wadr.org. Welcome to Newslink. Here are the major stories. President Tinubu of Nigeria calls for stronger cooperation with the United Kingdom in security and trade sectors.
As one of the largest nations within the Commonwealth, Nigeria looks forward to contributing constructively to the continued growth and vitality of this global community.
Gambian lawmaker denounces ongoing conflict between Senegalese army and separatists on shared border.
With all what we have seen is so devastating.
The Liberian head of state continues to urge calm among citizenry to ease border tension, and CAF president assures swift reforms for continental football as Senegal goes to cast over annulment of championship title. Please stay tuned for details of these stories and more.
On the news, this is Abdullahi Hassan.
Many thanks for joining our broadcast. Nigerian President Bola Tinubu has called for stronger cooperation between Nigeria and the United Kingdom. The agreement covers several sectors including security, governance and economic relations as he continues his state visit to the UK. Abuja correspondent Usman Umar reports.
The president made the call during a state banquet hosted in his honor by King Charles III at Windsor Castle as part of his ongoing state visit to the United Kingdom. Speaking at the event, President Tinubu emphasized the importance of deepening collaboration between both countries to address shared challenges and unlock new opportunities for growth and development.
As one of the largest nations within the Commonwealth, Nigeria looks forward to contributing constructively to the continued growth and vitality of this global community. However, our West African region faces complex terrorism challenges. In confronting these threats, partnership with the United Kingdom remains essential.
He also reaffirmed Nigeria's commitment to the Commonwealth, describing it as a platform for multilateral engagement.
Our partnership is further strengthened through the Commonwealth of Nations, which connects 56 countries under Your Majesty's leadership. Thank you very much for all you've been doing for us. We discussed at length the essence of bringing over 2.7 billion people together and removing trade barriers.
In his remarks, King Charles III highlighted the long-standing relationship between Nigeria and the United Kingdom, noting the strong cultural, economic, and historical ties that continue to bind both nations.
Whether they are Nigerians who've chosen Britain as their adopted place to invest, trade, or study, or Britons who cherish their personal connection to Nigeria, they all represent a living bridge of over 500,000 people who connect our nations, Mr. President, and help make our cultures richer, our shared security stronger, and our economies more prosperous.
The state visit is expected to further enhance cooperation between Nigeria and the United Kingdom across key sectors, including trade, security, and governance. For WADR, Yeche Nusasitu reporting.
In Niger, authorities step up mobilization for national defense. They have launched a large-scale awareness campaign on general mobilization across the country aimed at rallying citizens in the face of ongoing security challenges. Francis Boniface has won this report.
Ordered by General Abdurrahman Chani at the end of December 2025, the measure seeks to strengthen citizen engagement in addressing security threats. Inspired by similar initiatives in the sub-region, particularly in Burkina Faso, the general mobilization aims to involve the population more actively in the national defense effort. As part of this initiative, official delegations are traveling to various localities to explain the stakes of the decision and encourage public support. Authorities emphasize the need for a collective response to threats while highlighting the role of every Nigerian in safeguarding the country's sovereignty. They say the awareness sessions are also intended to ease concerns, particularly regarding the possible requisitioning of people and property for security reasons. Through this outreach campaign, the Nigerian government hopes to strengthen national unity and foster lasting citizen participation in support of the country's security.
Francis Boniface reporting.
More stories coming up on West Africa Democracy Radio. Newslink continues.
As a reminder, we stream live at wadr.org. Liberian President Joseph Boakai continues to urge citizens to remain calm amid rising tensions along the Guinea border. Boakai is pushing for diplomatic solution to maintain regional stability. In a national address late Wednesday, the Liberian leader emphasized the escalation through dialogue following key talks with regional leaders at the tripartite summit held in Conakry. Boakai highlighted direct engagement with Guinea and collaboration within the Manu River Union efforts that have led to a joint commitment to peace by Liberia, Guinea, and Sierra Leone.
Our security institutions, including the armed forces of Liberia, the Liberian National Police, and other joint security agencies, remain vigilant and professional in carrying out their duties. Friends of Liberia across Africa and around the world, including leaders within the Economic Community of West African States, the AU, and other international partners, have conveyed their support for a peaceful resolution of the situation. Their messages of encouragement and solidarity reaffirm Liberia's standing in the community of nations and strengthen our collective resolve to pursue diplomacy and dialogue. Let me be clear to every Liberian. Our pursuit of peaceful resolution is not a sign of weakness, but rather a demonstration of strength. It is easy to fight, break down, and destroy. As our own journey has taught us, it is more difficult to recover and build. That is why the government is exploring every available avenue to resolve this matter peacefully.
Liberian President Joseph Boakai speaking there. Meanwhile, a Gambian National Assembly member for Foni Bintan Karanai in the West Coast region has expressed concern over renewed fighting along the border between the Gambia and Senegal's Casamance region. Bakari Baji says residents in Foni communities have reported hearing heavy gunfire, with some shells landing dangerously close to their homes. As a result, several residents have fled to neighboring villages, seeking safety from the ongoing clashes. From Banjul, Sanduna Mendy reports.
The reports come amid renewed clashes between the MFDC separatist movement and Senegalese armed forces, heightening fears among Gambians living along the border. Witnesses say heavy gunfire was heard from the border villages such as Jifanga and Jakini in Foni in the West Coast region, forcing some residents to flee. Speaking to WADR, the National Assembly member for Foni Bintang Karanai, Bakari Baji, said communities have not only had intense shooting but have also reported bullets landing nearby.
The soldiers also bear witness that this was the situation, and the shells were also landing in the Gambia. That was the situation which was also reported by all the people that were there, all the intelligence officers that were sent to the area serve as witness. So as we speak, some of the people have already evacuated. They have left Fongo and Kayenga going towards Janak, and they are in the roadside.
The lawmaker is calling on the government, particularly the Ministry of Defense, to take urgent steps to protect civilians.
With all what we have seen is so devastating. We expect the Minister of Defense to come to the scene where the scene is happening and see and get first-hand information. And also we expect the head of state, President Adama Barrow, also to address the matter as soon as possible.
As tensions remain high, residents in the Foni area continue to brace for further developments with growing calls for urgent diplomatic action to prevent harm to civilians and protect border communities. For Newslink on West Africa Democracy Radio, I am Sangdana Mendy, reporting from Banjul.
More on security. Ghana's parliament has passed the Security and Intelligence Agencies Bill 2025, introducing sweeping reforms to the country's security architecture. These include abolishing the Ministry of National Security and renaming the National Investigations Bureau to the Bureau of National Intelligence. The government informs that the move will eliminate long-standing public confusion with the National Investment Bank, which shares the same acronym. Nadia Tete in Accra completes the story.
Under the new arrangement, oversight responsibility for the National Security Coordinator will be assigned to a minister designated by the President, effectively placing national security coordination closer to the presidency. This follows the abolition of the position of the Minister for National Security. Government argues that the changes will streamline operations and reduce bureaucratic tension within the security framework. Interior Minister Muntaka Mohamed Mubarak, who led the bill's presentation at its inception in Parliament, says the reforms are intended to improve clarity and efficiency within the system.
Significantly among the things that we needed to change that warranted the introduction of new bill is the use of NIB, National Investigative Bureau, which also matches a bank's name, National Investment Bank. The Speaker, as you know, everywhere in the world, you make sure that the acronyms for the security agencies do not match any other thing. And in fact, it is supported by law to make sure that nobody is able to name anything after an acronym of any of the security agencies.
Despite government's justification, the bill faced stiff opposition from the minority throughout its process. Minority leader Alexander Penyo-Markin raised concern about what he described as a concentration of excessive authority in the Office of the National Security Coordinator, warning that the new structure could weaken parliamentary oversight. He also argues that the bill lacked sufficient evidence to justify changes to the existing framework under current law. The bill is now awaiting presidential assent to become law. For WADR, Nadidi Tete, Accra.
In neighboring Burkina Faso, the government will host a forum on health financing from March 25 to 27, 2026. The event will bring together national and international experts, international institutions, and civil society organizations. The aim is to help the country achieve health sovereignty despite existing challenges. Usman Umar tells us more.
Burkina Faso is seeking sustainable solutions to finance its healthcare system. To achieve this, the country will host the first National Forum on Health Financing from March 25 to 27. Robert Lucien Cargogo, Burkinabe Minister of Health, explains.
Sans ressources suffisantes.
Without sufficient, stable and well-allocated resources, even the best technical reforms remain insufficient. Health workers operate without adequate means, while populations, especially the most vulnerable, continue to face catastrophic expenses that push them deeper into poverty. It is precisely this challenge that the government of Burkina Faso has decided to confront with determination and clear vision.
The forum will bring together experts from several African countries as well as national and international organizations. The aim is to significantly reduce the Burkinabe health system's dependence on external support.
Le FONAFIS 2026. FONAFIS 2026, bringing together more than 400 national and international participants, aims to be far more than just a discussion forum. It is designed as a platform for decision-making, commitment and mobilization.
D'engagement et de mobilisation.
Ultimately, the goal is to achieve health sovereignty, as Burkina Faso currently relies on external funding for about 21% of its healthcare system.
A report by WADR's Ouagadougou correspondent Martin Kaba and voiced by Usman Omar. You are listening to Newslink here on West Africa Democracy Radio, broadcasting on 94.9 FM and live online at wadr.org. Here is a recap of our top stories. President Tinubu of Nigeria calls for stronger cooperation with the UK in security and trade sectors. Gambian lawmaker denounces ongoing conflict between Senegalese army and separatists on shared border. The Liberian head of state continues to urge calm among citizenry to ease border tension. Still ahead in the news, CAF president assures swift reforms for continental football as Senegal goes to cast over annulment of championship title. We also have the guest interview and more. Please stay with us.
Fresh and breaking news all the time. Hear it first as the news breaks, only on West Africa Democracy Radio. Newslink continues.
Many thanks for staying with us. In Guinea, the recent cash crisis has been shaking the country for several months and has prompted authorities to take action, such as introducing new banknotes. The monetary measures approved by President Mamadou Doumbouya also include the printing of a high-denomination banknote and the gradual withdrawal of certain notes currently in circulation. This decision is already drawing reactions from economists. Less than Augustine Colley for the details.
Guinea is facing a cash shortage, affecting its economy, prompting authorities to announce an immediate monetary reform. Prime Minister Amadou Reba says the decision to print new banknotes is part of the president's plan to reorganize the country's financial system.
Guinea's real economy today is suffering from a shortage of cash in circulation. In response, the instructions have been given to print a new banknote. This is one measure. In addition, there is an absolute need within the next 3 to 4 months to accelerate the modernization of payment methods.
However, the move has not convinced some economists who argue it does not address the root causes of the country's economic challenges. Economist Abdurrahman Bellaba shares his concerns.
Such a decision undermines the independence of the central bank. Today, trust has been broken. As long as the trust is not restored, we should not expect this crisis to be resolved. This approach of creating money will not solve the problem. On the contrary, it will fuel inflation in our country. We risk seeing a sharp rise in prices, with the cost of living becoming increasingly expensive. Prices that were 45,000 could rise to 50,000. That is what lies ahead for Guinea's economy. Personally, I advise against this decision. The best solution today is to restore partnerships with the IMF and the World Bank and to ensure fiscal discipline and stronger management of public finances.
Beyond this emergency measure, authorities have also announced broader financial sector reforms. The government has been given 4 months to fast-track the modernization of payment systems across the country.
A report by WADR's Cheno Alpha Ibrahima Balde in Conakry and presented by Augustine Colley. Here in Senegal, Ramadan and Lent are more than periods of fasting. They are moments of unity. Muslims and Christians come together to break bread and strengthen the bond of peaceful coexistence. According to citizens, in a world often divided by differences, moments like this reflect the power of faith, not just as a personal journey, but as a bridge that brings communities together. WADR's Christopher Teacher was at the Balis Senghor neighborhood in Dakar to observe how the two main religions observe Iftar.
In Senegal, there is an interesting practice among the Islam community, which is the breaking or the sharing of meal after every fast. And this is done together with the Christian community.
This is the preparation of a hot coffee. It will be taken with bread and a canned processed fish, locally known as pinton. For many, this simple meal marks Iftar, the moment Muslims break their fast at sunset during the holy month of Ramadan, following the Maghrib prayer. Here at the Blaise Senghor Cultural Center, one striking reality stands out. Often, it is only the hijab that distinguishes a Muslim from a Christian. As both communities observe their respective fasting periods, Muslims in Ramadan and Christians in Lent, A shared tradition has quietly flourished over the years, breaking bread together. This simple art has strengthened peaceful coexistence, deepened mutual respect, and reinforced national unity in Senegal.
This is a very hot coffee right after the break, and this is the practice right here in Senegal. And it is very interesting to note that the Christian community and the Muslim community did this together, all in the spirit of unism, seeking for Allah's blessing or God's blessing.
It pleases me because although we do not have the same beliefs, we do not practice the same religions, but in relation to this Lent, it is as if we share the same religion because we fast together and we break our fast together.
The teaching is simple. It makes us think that Senegal is united. It's a country of terenga, hospitality, where we can't distinguish between Muslims and Christians. We've always lived like this. I come from a family of different religions. My mother is a Muslim. My father is a Christian. So for me, it's always a pleasure to live among Muslims and among Christians.
As Muslims and Christians across the world fast simultaneously during Ramadan and Lent, both periods remain deeply significant. Spiritual journey rooted in self-discipline, repentance, and a renewed connection with Allah or God.
Christopher Ticho with that report.
Politics,
Analysis on major news,
social matters, and all. This is A Guest.
Across West Africa, insecurity and violence perpetuated by separatists, bandits, or terrorists are surging in ungoverned spaces and border areas. Far from city centers where you have concentrated security, thousands of residents living in border communities from the Sahel to the coastal areas and fringes of the Lake Chad Basin are in constant state of panic. This is the situation for Gambians in the Foni region who are currently displaced due to renewed clashes between the Senegalese army and the MFDC separatist fighters. Providing insight into the development is Bakari Baji, a member of Gambian Parliament representing Foni Bintang Karanai.
The reported bombardment is uncertain whether it is coming from, but what is certain is because the bombardment is between the MFDC rebels and the Senegalese soldiers. We have videos here, and we have some of the birds that landed in the country. We have them here holding. And also we have some of the evidence of certain cells that also have landed here. And today, as I speak right now, I am just from the border area around Gifunga, and also I went to Kayenga, so I wanted to proceed, but it's night. That is why I came back. And yesterday, the soldiers also bear witness that this was the situation, and the cells were also landing in the Gambia. So that was the situation which was also reported by all the people that were there, all the intelligence officers that were sent to the area serve as witness. And some of the area, even in Sibano, some of the bullets even landed in Sibano, which is so unfortunate for us as well. So as we speak, some of the people have already evacuated. They have left Gifunga and Kayenga going towards Janak, and they are in the roadside. So today we went to Kayenga, we find only few people that are there. Those are the elderly individuals.
Well, as the member of parliament representing this particular area, what are some of the concerns been shared by your constituents?
The concern that they are raising with me is the best place for them to stay is at their home. But with the current situation, they are over-terrified with the heavy bombardment and also the landing of the birds that have landed in various places. And some of them, they will tell you that I was very, very lucky. I would have died by now or been in the hospital to a certain extent. And for the fact that we are in the month of Ramadan is so devastating. And Friday is certain, we'll be going for Korite. But the people, they are sad that they can stop spend holidays in their own home. Because being in your home calls for freedom, being in your home calls for steadiness, and being in your home is where you are comfortable. But also, as we are saying right now, the current situation is terrifying, and there is likelihood that they will not even have what to use during this coming Eid that we're supposed to have. So their animals are also left there, or the cows, the sheep, the goat. You know, someone who is devastated, someone who is evacuating cannot have time to carry all those things. So that is the current situation that they are facing right now. But I went to the scene, few that are there. They are sad and sitting in isolation. and also thinking of what will happen next, whether the bombardment will continue. For how long will it continue is unknown to them.
Bakari Baji, a member of the Gambian Parliament representing Foni Bintang Karanai. In the sporting world, the president of the Confederation of African Football, Dr. Patrice Motsepe, has defended the body's integrity and impartiality. His remarks made in a video statement late Wednesday follow a decision by CAF's Appeals Committee, which stripped Senegal of its Africa Cup of Nations title. The ruling came after a protest by Morocco, with the committee finding Senegal in violation of Articles 82 and 84 of AFCON regulations, leading Morocco being awarded the title. The decision has sparked controversy, with the Senegalese government calling for an international investigation into the matter. However, Dr. Motsepe says CAF will respect any higher ruling on the matter.
The independence is reflected by the decisions that were taken by the two bodies. The CAF Disciplinary Board took one decision. The CAF Appeals Board took a totally different position. And I'm told that Senegal is going to appeal, which is very important. Every one of the 54 nations in Africa have a right to pursue their appeals and their advance interests, not only at the highest level in Africa, but also the highest body, which is the CAS. And we will adhere and respect the decision that's taken at the highest level.
Dr. Patrice Motsepe is president of CAF. In other news, Barcelona, Liverpool, Bayern Munich and Atletico Madrid have all advanced to UEFA Champions League quarter-finals following an action-packed round of 16 final on Wednesday, which produced 23 goals. FC Barcelona delivered a dominant second-half performance to defeat Newcastle, with goals from Robert and Rafinha sealing a convincing win. Bayern Munich cruised past their opponent thanks to a brace from Harry Kane, who also reached 50 Champions League goals in the process. At Anfield, Liverpool FC came from behind to book their spot, inspired by Mohamed Salah, who also hit the 50-goal mark in the competition. Meanwhile, Atletico de Madrid progressed on aggregate despite a narrow defeat to Tottenham Hotspur, holding on after a high-scoring two-leg encounter. This launches an exciting quarter-final lineup as Europe's elite continue their chase for Champions League glory. And with that, we've come to the end of this edition of Newslink here on West Africa Democracy Radio, broadcasting from Dakar, Senegal. Thank you for listening, and special thanks to Mustafa Sek and Maudo Diouf for the technical support. Do interact with us via social media platforms X, Instagram and Facebook at WADR English, and stream live at wadr.org. I am Abdullahi Hassan. Good evening.
And many thanks to you for listening to Newslink via Hot 104.3 FM,
Hilltop Radio 104.7 FM,
and Veritas Radio 102.9 in Banjul, the Gambia. We also appreciate our listeners in Liberia via Alternative Youth Radio 98.9 FM, Lofa County,
Radio Kagama 94.5 FM, Nibe County, DCN Radio 91.3 FM, Riverside County, Radio Gulf FM 91.3 Sierra Leone in Nigeria, and Love 104.5 FM Abuja.
For you listening via Radio Pad 95.1 Damango, Savannah region, and on Royals FM 104.7 Wenchi, Ghana, we say a big thank you. Remember, West Africa Democracy Radio is all about you.